Hi friends, welcome to VKCK Ideas. Let us move on to part 2 of number system from your ninth standard. It was a very interesting topic. We learned that there are plenty of numbers, countless numbers. That means there were infinite numbers on the number line. We classified them according to our convenience. Integers, they contain positive numbers and negative numbers along with 0. Is it over? No, we had one more set, that is set of rational numbers we discussed. Before moving on to that rational numbers, let us observe these three sets. We have to observe that these three sets, they don't have any decimals in them. What about rational numbers? Let us see. Rational numbers. Let us recall the definition. These rational numbers are of the p by q type numbers. That means they contain decimals. How? Just like this. 1 by 2 is a rational number which is in the form of p by q. It is nothing but 0.5. That means it is a decimal. Similarly, 1 by 4 is in the form of p by q, rational number, and is also a decimal. Can we say now rational numbers contain decimals? Yes. Look at another example. 3 by 2 is a rational number which can be equated to 1.5. If I divide 3 apples among 2 students, each one will get 1.5. That is what 1.5 means. This contains integral part and also decimal point. But anyhow, rational numbers, they contain decimals. No doubt about this. Okay. Based on this, we can classify real numbers in this type. One without decimals and another one with decimals. Okay. Without decimals, as I told in the previous slides, these natural numbers, whole numbers and integers, they don't have decimals in them. Observe the set written here. They don't have decimals. You observed that already. Rational numbers, they can be represented as decimals. What about irrational numbers? In today's class, let us learn that. Before moving on to irrational numbers, let us classify the rational numbers which are decimals. They are having decimals. Rational numbers have decimals. What kind of decimals they have? Let us understand that, and then we can move on to irrationals. Look at these examples. Can you find any difference in these kind of sets? Yes. Here 0.5. There is an end for this decimal. 0.8. It has ended. System 0.234 is having it has 0. Ended. But look at these 142,857 of 142,857. It is 3.333. What can we say about this? And similarly, yes, 1 by 7 rational numbers, they contain decimals that are terminating or recurring. Yes, the first set of decimals are terminating decimals because they are ending, and this set is recurring. Recurring means they are repeating. No end for these decimals. Some set of numbers, they are repeating. Same number may be repeating, or some set of numbers may be repeating, but both of them are recurring decimals. Rational numbers, they contain terminating or recurring decimals. Now it is time to move on to irrational numbers. Irrational numbers. A number S is said to be irrational if it can't be written in the form of p by q. Where p and q are integers and q not equal to 0. The opposite of rational. In other words, simply we can say a decimal form of an irrational number is non-terminating and non-recurring. How is it possible? Is there any number like that? neither terminating nor recurring. Yes, there are, children. Let us see the example. Root 2, root 3, root 5 and the number which you saw now, they are all irrational numbers. That means in their decimal form they are neither terminating nor recurring. Okay, you understood irrational numbers, I think. Every real number is represented by a unique point on the number line. Also, every point on the number line represents a unique real number. You know what is the number line is? Number line is the numbers arranged at particular distances. We have infinite numbers and infinite points as well. Each point is for a number and each number has a place on the number line. That's what it means. Has a place on the number line. That's what it means. Let us visualize. Take a number line, take a point. If it is for 0 and there is one more point, it is for 2. Another point, it is for 4. Then what is the position 3? You can guess. Similarly, to the left side, we have a point which is for -1 and another point for -2 and one more point for -3 and -4, another point like this. Here is a point. Can you say this point is for which number? Do you say it is for 1? No, because 1 should be exactly in between 0 and 2. Then this one? Yes, if it is for half, where is 1 then? This is for 1 and this point is for 3. So this is what we said in the previous slide. On the number line, every point has a number associated with it and each number will have a point or place on the number line. Hope you understood. Between 0 and 1 we have a rational number like this, p by q form, and we have infinite numbers on this. If you know the exact value of the number, we can easily locate it on the number line, that if it is number is rational, it is terminating or recurring. But if the number is irrational, what to do? It is neither terminating nor recurring. There is no end for that number. But how to locate it on the number line? We have a technique. Let us follow that. This is square. You know, by definition of square, all the sides of squares are equal. OA is 1 unit, means AB is also 1 unit. Then what about OB? OB is root 2 unit. How is this? It's very easy. Look at this triangle OAB. What kind of triangle is this? Yes, you are right. This is a right angle triangle. On the right angle triangle, we have a theorem, very famous theorem, Pythagoras theorem, that says the square on the hypotenuse, that is OB square. One thing you should know, OB is a hypotenuse because it is opposite to the 90 degree. Any side which is opposite to the 90 degree in the triangle, that side is known as hypotenuse, and OB is hypotenuse. OB square, that means a square on this hypotenuse is equal to square on other two sides. That means OA square and OB square. The sum is equal to square on the hypotenuse. Okay, to know OB square, we have to substitute the values of OA and AB. OA is 1 unit and AB is also 1 unit. 1 square plus 1 square is equal to 1 plus 1, because 1 square is 1. OB square is equal to 2 now. This is the equation. OB square is 2. OB square is equal to 2 is an equation. If we do same operation on both sides, equation will be balanced. I am taking square root on both sides. This side square root and square cancels, OB remains, and this side we remain with root 2. Therefore OB, the value of OB is root 2 unit. You understood, I think. I will give you one more link where you can visualize Pythagoras theorem but for the time being, this calculation part, if you understand, it is enough to locate root 2 on the number line. Hope you understood this. If we shift the same system onto the number line, we can locate root 2 on the number line, even if it is non-terminating and non-recurring. Okay, this is how we have to do. Take square on the number line, let this point be 0 and this point be 1, then the length of the square is 1 unit and breadth is also 1 unit. To other two sides I am giving the numbers. This is left hand side negative numbers and right hand side positive numbers. Okay, this is also 1 unit, and diagonal, you know already, it is root 2 unit. And taking this OB as the radius, if you draw an arc like this, it cuts the number line. That point will be the position or the place of root 2. That point P is the value of root 2, or it represents root 2 on the number line. The value of root 2 is 1.4142 and so on. There is no end for this, but still we have a method or technique to locate root 2 on the number line. Hope you understood this. You can practice this on the number line taking a sheet of paper. Similarly, we can locate root 3 also on the number line. How? Let us begin with the root 2. Take 1 unit, take a square OABC. The length of this square is equal to 1 unit OA and AB 1 unit, and therefore diagonal will be root 2 unit. We have calculated this, and further we have to take BD, a length BD, which is also equal to 1 unit, and the angle here should be 90 degree. If you construct like this, then your OD will be equal to root 3 unit. How is this? Let us calculate. It is also again based on Pythagoras theorem. For this, we have to take the triangle OBD. In this OBD, OD is hypotenuse. Therefore, according to Pythagoras theorem, OD square is equal to OB square plus DB square. Square on the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the squares on the other two sides. So OD square is equal to root 2 square plus 1 square. OD square is equal to 2 plus 1, because root 2 and square root cancels. The remaining is 2 and 1 square is 1. 2 plus 1 is 3. OD square is 3. Take square root on both sides. Square root and square cancels. OD is equal to root 3. So shift the same system onto the number line and locate root 3 as we did for the root 2. Let us see that. You have to practice this with a paper and pencil and compass and all. First you draw a number line, take some position, name it as O, take 1 unit from there, name it as A, and construct a square there. Or a triangle is also enough. OAB triangle with 90 degree here, and AB is also 1 unit. Now OB diagonal, taking this OB as the radius, if you draw an arc, this cuts the number line at root 2. And move further. At B you construct a right angle and take BD as 1 unit, join OD. Now taking OD as the radius, if you draw an arc like this, then that cuts the number line at Q. That Q will be the position of root 3 on the number line. The value will be 1.7320 and so on. This is very interesting, children. In spite of that irrationality of the number, that means it's neither terminating nor recurring. There is no end for this number itself, but still we confined it to a point, a position on the number line. So for that, this technique helped us. Keep watching and learning. Try to do exercise 1.2 from your textbook. Like, share and subscribe. Have the joy of learning.